Hello, boys and girls of YouTube. Yep, Drag Week 2020 canceled. What are you going to do, right? It's the worst year I think the world has ever seen in at least 100 years. So be it. It is what it is. But looking on the bright side, I have a year and 2 weeks as of a couple days ago, or I think. Anyway, about a year and 2 weeks till I need to get this car going. So, if you haven't noticed on the windshield, they give you a sticker, and zoom in a little bit on that of when you get there. I chopped up the one from 2017. That's the last time this car has actually made it to Drag Week because it was kind of getting low. When I go to 2021 with this car, I don't know if I'll just put the date or remove all the stickers and just start over. Might be fitting to do that since it's like they had to stop for 1 year. But anyway, the meat and potatoes of this particular video is what do I need to do over the course of the next year to get this thing going? Well, let's start with the motor. If you go back to some of my other videos, actually all the way back even to last year, the big thing that I had to deal with, actually there were three, and I'll list them. Basically, the motor was running like crap. I put fuel injection on it, and it turned out to be the RPM signal to the box that controls the fuel injection was kind of, it was a shielded cable, but there was a couple inches of it that wasn't shielded, and it was getting some noise in the line, so it was messing up the signal. So I fixed that. The other thing I have to fix still is an oil leak coming from the back. If you go back to a couple other videos, I think I had a leak in the back of the manifold. But one of the other big things that might have also contributed to leak of the oil from the manifold is that I definitely got a vacuum leak somewhere. I'm thinking the only thing I had, well, there's actually two things. I'm going to use a little bit thicker manifold gasket to the heads. Maybe it was just misaligned. The heads were milled a little bit. I had blown a head gasket in 2017 at Drag Week, and they cleaned it up, made it a little straighter just to make sure. It took a little bit off, so maybe the angle is not right anymore, so I'm going to use a little bit thicker gasket. That should hopefully solve that problem. We'll find out if that's what the problem was. The other thing, on the throttle body I was using, the back butterflies, the arm was actually hitting the gasket a little bit, so it was actually cracked them open slightly. I'm sure that was contributing to it a little bit. So those are the must fixes. Without a doubt, those are the must fixes. Overall, it's not that bad. But what I also want to do with this car, and it's very popular to do for Drag Week, is actually put a second fuel cell. Well, put a fuel cell in it. It actually has a stock gas tank in it that I really use. And what I was going to do was swap out for race gas. So if you want, we'll take a look at that. So let me stop this and I'll go back there. Hopefully you can see it. All right, we're back here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a drain in the fuel tank. So I drain the gas, and I'll put race gas in, then drain that when I'm back on the street. So let me stop this and get back up and start talking about the rest of the stuff I want to do. All right, getting back to what I want to do. So I showed you the drain, what I was going to do. So that gets to be a pain in the neck. So what really is popular at Drag Week is actually run a second fuel cell. And when you do that, you can just plumb into the regular lines that are there. And you got some one-way valves, some three-way valves, another fuel pump. You can wire that all up and plumb it all up. This way you save probably, I don't know, a good half hour, 45 minutes total of draining it and then draining it again for a second time when you're starting to leave. Anyway, two things. Well, get the motor running right, put the fuel cell in. That's two things I want to do. Those are the must-dos. Well, fuel cell maybe not a must-do, but the want-to-do. So that I think I can do in a year without a doubt. Now, alright, the other thing I wanted to do is put a Hydro Boost brake system in this car. That's not a definite. Last time I ran the motor and ran the car, I was getting about 10 inches of vacuum, which is probably enough to stop it if I need to, but if I had to stop repeatedly, might be an issue. I did have the vacuum line hooked up to a T for a couple other things that may have been stealing some of that vacuum. I don't know for a fact, but either way, I'm going to get everything running, get the car on the road, see how it is. If I need to change the brake system, that'll be on the list too. For the actual running and driving, that's pretty much it. Cosmetics, yeah, well, take a look. Not really that worried about it. Dusty, dirty. That'll be after everything gets done. But the only other thing that I might do is, I'm not going to crawl into the car now, there's too much in the way, but the exhaust maybe need to be looked at a little bit better. I did half-fast it. It should work. But if I work on that, you'll definitely see all that. Then, really, I'll move on to the interior, believe it or not. I'm missing the door panel, so maybe I'll replace the door panel. The rug has seen better days. It's been in there for a while. It's not really that bad, but it never was great when I bought it 30 years ago. Never sat right. I also chopped it up a little bit to put the roll bar in, chopped it up a little bit in the front to get it in easier. Maybe I'll do it right this time. Also, there is a small crack in the dash that's been annoying me since I've got this car, which is very long ago. It hasn't gotten any worse, really, but it's always annoyed me, so they make a dash cover that covers the whole thing. I've seen them. They look pretty good. You can tell if you look really close. It's definitely cheaper than buying a dash, and they actually don't look bad. They cover pretty well. So maybe I'll put that on. Oh, and I had it on my list for last year. The window on this side is a power window. The motor's been broke since I about owned the car. I do have another door that has a crank set up in it, so I'll swap that out. So really, I have a year to do not much. But the real reason why I started this channel in the first place was hopefully not to procrastinate. And if I kept up with doing videos, which I haven't done really, but it has motivated me a little bit just to see my progress or lack of progress. And I don't know, we'll go from there. So that's the list. I've got a year and 2 weeks to get it done. I think I can do it. If I get all that done fast, maybe I'll work a little bit more on the body. It's actually not bad. Looks a lot worse than it really is. There is a quarter that needs to be redone. A little rust on the behind the driver's side door that's been fixed for years, and it's actually not coming through or anything, but it was only Bondoed. I'd actually chop that out and, put a little patch panel in it. And this door on this side needs a little bit of work. But overall, take it all apart, put it all together, line everything up. Won't be that bad. But either way, that's the list. Maybe more will come along the way, but that's what you have to look forward to. So if you guys ever need to see how to do any of that, definitely tune back in. Obviously, the motor running first is the biggest thing. In about 2 weeks, I have off because I'm not going to drag week, so I have off. So I'll probably work on that. It's probably about the time I'll actually put another video up. So see what happens with this, and we'll go from there. All right. Take care, everybody.